particularly for your spouse. And the test is this: I have empowered my spouse educationally to ensure that my spouse holds on with or without me. I have empowered my spouse educationally to ensure that my spouse holds on with or without me. The next test is on financial empowerment for spouse. And it's this way: I have empowered my spouse financially to ensure that my spouse holds on with or without me. The next one is certainty of children's education. You answer yes or no. I have laid enough structure as a date to ensure that my children will have access to qualitative education whether or not I am there. The fifth is on certainty of children's education. I have laid enough structure as a date to ensure that my children will have access to qualitative education whether or not I am there. You answer yes or no. Now the sixth is on financial information, and it is: my spouse has access to all details relating to my banks and account numbers and stocks and stockbroking firms acting on my behalf. You need to just answer yes or no on financial information. I want to take that all over. My spouse has access to all details relating to my banks and account numbers and stock holding and stockbroking firms acting on my behalf. You answer yes or no. The next is next of kin, and I'm asking you to ask yourself: I have updated my next of kin with my employers to reflect my current dependents. Most people, when they feel their next of kin actually hadn't married, and it's important you address that point now. And if you haven't, well, the next working day available to you, please try and update your next of kin records to reflect your current status, reflect who truly today, and of course that should be your spouse, is your next of kin. Now the eighth question is shares in quoted companies. You answer yes or no. I've invested reasonably in shares of reputable companies. Answer yes or no. I have invested reasonably in shares of reputable companies. The ninth one before the 10th is will. You just answer simple question yes or no. I have written my will. Answer yes or no. And then the final one: I've been able to avoid extramarital complications. You answer yes or no. 10. And it's for you to actually score yourself, because I wish I could score you. I wish I could look at your answers and score you. But if you didn't score 10 over 10 or 9 over 10 or 8 over 10, you know you really need to work hard on your wealth building intelligence, and that really makes your participation in this program a must. And like I tell you, you need to keep a date with me on this channel, invite people you love, and then follow up on the things I teach you, because they are born out of a passion to help you, out of a passion to move our nation forward. Now last week I started telling you about effective ways of doing business with or without capital. I am going to continue doing that today. Again, I want to introduce this book to you, Multimillonaire Mindset. And I want to ask you to go and get your copy today. Get your copy. Send somebody to get a copy for you. You can get it in CSS bookshop. You can get the book in Union Bank Moloney branch. You can get it in New Metro outlets. You can get it in Unilag bookshops and other leading outlets. You need to own this book. Everybody that reads this book comes back thanking me and also wanting somebody else to read it. Please get a copy of this book today. Now, effective ways of doing business with or without capital. I highlighted a few for you the last time I was with you, which included learning and training. You need to learn, you need to be skilled, you need to have something that you are able to do, that you have learned how to do. You need to study under somebody. I told you about that the last time, and I also asked you to acquire skill. You could have learned, but it's another ball game actually translating what you already know into generating money, into actually trapping money. Because money, the way I look at it, it's like casting a net in the ocean. I mean, you have to be able to cast the net. You need to know the exact time to cast it. You need to know exactly where to cast it. So you need to have a skill with which you can trap wealth. You need to have a skill. I told you that the last time. And then I told you that you need to be diligent. Diligent means when you are given an opportunity to do service, to render service, I asked you to do it with all your might. Do it whether you are being paid for or you're not being paid for. Do it whether the payment justifies the work you have undertaken to do. The idea is that if you want to do the job at all, don't do it. If the payment, you consider it insufficient, don't take the job against that payment. But if you ever take the job against any type of payment at all, I encouraged you to put in all your might, put in your ability, put in your strength, because that is a major stepping stone to actually gaining confidence and expanding your market reach. Now today, I am going to be continuing on the things, principles you need to accumulate in order to be able to generate income, to be able to eventually become what we have set out to make you become in this program, a corporate giant, somebody of substance. It doesn't matter where you are. It actually does not matter where you are. It does not matter how much in your pocket today. We have set out to make you to become a corporate giant, and I believe strongly that we are going to accomplish that. Now I want to talk about savings. Now somebody said that if you save, you'll be broke. If you don't save, you'll be broke. So why don't you save and be broke? You need to acquire discipline to save. It's important. If you check out our analysis of the prodigal son, you find that his inability to save was what ran him into the major complications of wealth depletion that he suffered, because he was unable to save. He did not value savings. At least in the beginning, he never valued savings. But at the end, he started valuing savings. And why do we say so? Because he said that his father's hired servants had enough to eat and to spare. You see, the concept of ability to spare is actually savings. And it's not every time, everything you consume. It doesn't matter how comfortable you are today, please, or lack of comfort. Try and save. Make a conscious effort about it to save, because investment is a function of savings. Investment is a function of savings. As an individual, you need to save. As a family, you need to save. As a government, as a state government, you need to save. As a national government, we need to save. If we must invest, and income actually is generated via investment, you need to save. It's a discipline. I mean, it can never be enough. If your present level is not enough, you double your present level, triple it, quadruple it, multiply it by whatever X, you find that it will never be enough. There will be, I mean, if you have 1 billion naira today, and you can spend it the next hour, you can finish it, it can be spent the next hour. So it doesn't matter how much you have, you must be able to save, because it's a great function. If you have 1 naira today, you can save 20 naira out of it, you can save 10 naira out of it. It's a discipline you must acquire, so that, as you know, life is structured in such a way that God gives people something. God feeds the birds, God feeds the animals, God just makes provision. And that's the way He does with life, with people. Money comes into your hands now and again, and if you don't value the money that comes into you, no matter how little, if it becomes bigger, you definitely will not value. So place value on money, and one of the ways you place value on money is via savings. Now the next way is investment. Of course, I told you that investment is a function of savings. Now you need to ask yourself, when money comes into your hand, how best you can generate another money from that money, no matter how little. No matter how little money comes into your hand, your first instinct would be, how do I multiply this money? What do I do with it? How can I trade with it? And of course, talking about trading, you know that one of the challenges the unfaithful steward in the Bible had was that he refused to trade. He refused to trade. Others traded. They traded with what they got. The person that received 5 talents traded with the 5 talents. The person that received the 2 talents traded with the 2 talents. Now, we don't know how long they traded. We weren't told. But over time they traded. We don't know how many losses they suffered before they started having the result they had. But they traded. Now, the man that had the 1 talent refused, neglected, and failed to trade. And that was the real challenge he had with his master, because he refused to trade. Now you must invest money. You must develop the trading instinct. You must develop the instinct to buy and sell. You must develop the instinct to multiply the money in your hands. Now, if you're being employed today in some place, one thing I need you to understand is that the person that employed you wouldn't be employing you today if he had eaten all his own money. I mean, go back to him, find out from him. You find out there was a time he had nothing. He had absolutely nothing. There was a time he had something less than what you have today. But gradually, over the process of time, he was able to build a business that could give employment to people. Why not you? I want to ask you, why wouldn't you be the person employing somebody the next time? And to be able to do that, you have to learn to invest. You have to learn to trade. You have to learn to buy and sell. You have to learn to make offers. And those are part of the things we'll be discussing in this program as we proceed. Now, we are talking of ways you could start off something with or without capital. You see, the greatest capital that you have is your mindset. It's just your mindset. You're accepting that, look, I have responsibility to do this. It's onerous on me to discharge this responsibility. You now begin to take it up from there. Why I'm approaching this way is this: many people don't start out. You definitely will need leverages, financing as you proceed in your ventures, but to not start because you do not have capital is my challenge, and it's one challenge I want to deal with decisively. That you can start, you can take off with or without capital. You need to step out. You don't need to defeat yourself first and say, look, I don't have capital, therefore I won't do anything. You cannot be excused. No, nobody will give you that shelter of that excuse. No, you need to take off from somewhere. You need to step out and then start from there to move on. Now, one great tool of capital development, wealth building, that I have discovered and I want to share with you is agency. Agency. Being able to link a service provider with a service consumer. I mean, it's a very simple concept. It traverses almost every business. Now, you find that in most cases, or in a good number of cases, the agent may not really need to put down any money, and yet he could make so much from that service. Sometimes you may even render agency service without knowing it, and that is a challenge I want to deal with also. Because sometimes you link a service consumer with a service provider and transaction take place without your knowing you have rendered a service. A service that the people you render the service for will be absolutely ready and happy to pay you for. So it's important you are conscious of your environment, and that's what programs like this is intended to achieve, to let you know that there are times that wealth passes you without knowing that wealth has passed you. Now, for instance, somebody needs water and you are able to know where you can get water and you link them. Somebody needs sand and you know whom you can link up. Somebody needs a house. Somebody needs a house to buy or a house to rent. Somebody needs a car to buy or a car to rent. Your ability to tell the people even before you link them, because they need your help. They need your help. You need to be able to tell them, look, for rendering this service, are you ready to pay this? Now, I'm going to be letting you know, because the next thing I'm going to be discussing is negotiating. I'm going to let you see how effective negotiation skills would help you even when you don't have anything. And you need to stand by on this program, because that's what next I'm going to be taking you up on. How effective negotiation skills will help you even in the concept of agency, in marketing, in your workplace. You need to be skilled in negotiating, and that will be our major subject as we come here again, interacting again in this program. But before I sign off completely for today, I want to reintroduce this book, Multimillonaire Mindset. I'm passionate about your getting this book because I know you will need it. It was written for you. You need to get a copy. You need to get a copy for the people you love. A lot of persons have been buying for their loved ones. When they read, they know that it's not information they should hold back, so they want to share it. Very soon we're going to be entering into the gift sharing season. I urge you to make this book one of the gifts you will share with somebody this season. I mean, it's a gift that you give to somebody and monitor and encourage the person to read through, and I can assure you he will ever or she will ever live to thank you that you got this book for him or for her. You can order directly through 0803 3074 390. 080-330-74390. You can go to Union Bank Moloni and pick a copy for yourself, to CSS Bookshop, to Chartered Institute of Bankers Bookshop, to New Metro Bookshop in Palms, that is ShopRite, or Silverbird Galleria, and you go get a copy. Get copies for your loved one, and then I can assure you that you'll be glad you did. And like I told you, this program is sponsored by Christian Wogu Chambers and Shekinah Resources Nigeria Limited. We are already getting co-sponsorship. I will encourage you to be part of this co-sponsorship. Be a co-sponsor to this program. Reach other people. Let's empower Nigerians. Let's set Nigerians on course. And I can assure you, you'll be happy you did. Once again, thank you for keeping me company on this program today. I look forward to seeing you next time. God bless you and have a great day. Thank you.
plain to see, and that you sit close and hear his heartbeat. For in your eyes I
free, because as a person you have already defeated yourself. Now the next is, I've not been able to recover from a failure of the past. That could be where you are unable to, you're still living in the past. You are still bemoaning a failure of the past. But I can tell you one thing today, and that is that failing is part of success. I mean, just don't ever bother with success if there is no failure. Usually successes are accumulation of numerous failures along the line that eventually prop out to become success. So you don't have to bemoan a failing of the past. In fact, I train people and say, look, if you really want to succeed, learn to master failure. Learn to accommodate failure. When you meet failure on the way, you just know it's part of the deal. It's part of the original deal. So it really has made no difference. It was part of the bargain. So if you're having an encounter with it, so be it, and you deal with that encounter and move on. Now the other is, I've written a published book before. I know that a lot of you may have started writing something which up till now is yet to see the light of the day. So why don't you pick up that work, complete it, move it to the next stage, get it out, and also become an authority. The purpose of that question is to actually steer you up to begin to complete processes you have begun. Complete processes, and in fact that's a very good way to start, because I know that everybody listening to me today or viewing me today must have started something. I charge you, go ahead and complete it. Now the next, I always attend events and activities on time. Are you time conscious? Time is a great resource. In fact, time is one of the greatest resources God has given to man. And what you do with your time is important, because we are not going to have yesterday again. Never. We now have today, and today is going. So you must learn to direct time. You must learn to resource time. And There's something else I say, and I hope you'll be able to take it. I say that not every person has up to 24 hours in a day. Not every person has up to 24 hours in a day, whereas there are others that have over 100 hours in a day. I'm sure you want to know the gap. You want me to bridge the gap for you? Yes. Some persons who sell out their time, of course, when you sell out your time, you are selling part of your day. You are selling part of the number of hours you actually have in a day. And when somebody buys your time and buys the time of other people, of course he is amassing more time to his own time per day. And like I've always said, that this program is meant to develop and build employers of labor. That is, those that will begin to buy other people's time. Of course, I want you to be one of them. So I want you to be one of them, and that is the privilege you have for being on this channel listening to me, so that you will be among the people whose time will be worth more than 24 hours. You have more time than other people, and then others can sell their time to you. But it starts by valuing the time you have. Look, if you tell somebody I will be there by 3 p.m., try and be there by 3 p.m. If for any reason you find you cannot be there, call. Let the person know ahead of time that you won't be there. So, and if it's something as simple as going to church, these are ways you discipline yourself. Where you don't have anybody that is actually using a long stick to direct you, discipline yourself that you'll be on time to church. Discipline yourself that you'll be on time to that meeting. There is something about coming to meeting on time. It's like you already took charge, you're already in control. Others come and they start on a note of apology. It's not good to start a meeting on a note of apology, because you're already conceding. Remember that we are going to be shortly discussing about negotiating. You're going to be you're going to start a meeting already a note of concession, on a note of concession. So you need to be on time. We are going to continue on this self-test, and then we on some other time. But now we have to get back to effective ways of doing business with or without capital. Once again, I want to introduce this book to you, Multimillonaire Mindset. Try and get your copy. Try and get your copy. I encourage you to get your copy. It was written for your own good, for your empowerment. Avail yourself of the privilege of having this book already in circulation. Avail yourself of it and go get your copy. Go to Union Bank Moloney today or tomorrow, as soon as possible. If you can't go, send somebody to give you a copy of this book. Go to New Metro outlets, either in Silverbird Galleria or the Palms. Go to CSS Bookshop, Chartered Institute of Bankers Bookshop, and other leading outlets, and get a copy of this book for you and for yourself and for your family and for your loved ones. And you can also order directly on 080-330-74390, 080-330-74390. Effective ways of doing business with or without capital. I've already started you up on this, and I told you about learning and training. You need to learn something. Learn, train, go to school. Formal school, informal school, train, learn something. It doesn't matter whether it's formal or informal. As far as I'm concerned, you need to be skilled. And you can go to a formal school and you don't have the skill, you can't make money. That's one of the challenges I have with our educational system. Our educational system, I believe it's good. Some people run it down. No. All I'm trying to find out is a way we can begin to generate employers of labor through our educational system and not employees of labor. That's a challenge. Somebody finishes his first degree, second degree, postgraduate, doctorate degree, and cannot eke out a living except he is employed. That's not right. That's not good enough. That will not take this country to famine. 100,000 persons coming out every year, and each and every one of them must be employed, must be recruited in order to earn a living. That is unacceptable. The reason is that education is all about systems, it's all about procedures, researches, it's all about discovery. And I believe that you can deploy all these towards locating needs in the economy, in the system, and meeting those needs. Meet those needs so that it can attract value. People want to pay you. And because you are already a trained person, already educated, you will add greater and enhanced value to the system. So please learn informally, learn formally, whichever way, so long, because a lot of people that learn informally, I mean those you call uneducated, they will amaze you, they will surprise you that those we actually dub as uneducated are those that are employing the educated today. Those are those that are taking the educated off the job market. It's a poser. I've given this poser before on this program, and it's still there. You are free to contradict me, but I know it's very true. It's very true. So you must value your learning, even if it's not formal. Value your learning, because people like you are the people employing the educated ones. So try and learn, try and train. And I've told you, acquire skill, because with skill you could actually have an edge, competitive advantage. You become the person that has to do the job, no matter where you are. If it's located that there is one man out there who can solve this problem, everybody will say, look, go get him. And I told you, when they get you to do the job, do it diligently, do it with all your might, do it with integrity, with character, notwithstanding how much you'll be paid, or even if you'll be paid at all. The fact that you have an opportunity, deploy that opportunity and build wealth with it. And I told you that you need to save. Whatever money comes into your hands, please make sure you save. Look, the truth is this, that over time, the habit of saving justifies itself over time, not immediately. If you have two persons working in the same place, earning the same salary, what happens to them in 15 years' time would be a function of who was saving and who was not saving. The person that was consuming, and it's so easy to consume money, and one major way I find that people consume money is through what they eat and how they eat, their eating habits. They go to a place and they order the things they can eat and the things that they cannot eat, just to impress the waiter, just to impress the call person. You just keep ordering, or maybe to impress your guest, impress somebody around you, maybe to impress people around you in the office on how much or the quality or the quantity you are able to order. But you can be sure that over time it will show. The man that goes about his life with caution, with restraint, over time it will show. And sometimes ask yourself, sometimes stay and ask yourself, why is this person the driver of this person? Why couldn't it have been the other way around? I mean, two persons, somebody comes and tells you, maybe you're watching your peer on television and say, oh, you tell your son, that person was my classmate. What made the difference? Where did you miss it? You take pride in celebrating somebody else when you could have been the person that would have been celebrated. But it's all a function of the fact that you recognize that the little you had, you needed to save it. And after saving, you also needed to invest it, and it will begin to multiply for you. Yes, people might look at you and say, look, you are out of this, you are not within, you don't belong. But over time will really prove who truly belongs. So learn to save, and after you have saved, learn to invest. And I talked about agency. Agency, that is the capacity to recognize a business that could miss every other person. You're able to say, look, you need this service, I know who can give you this service, but I will link you up to that person at a price.